All right. Welcome to another live stream for PDAC Explain It to Me PDAC. My name is Ms. Erica. Hi, there's my hand. You can't see me today because we have a different setup. This was a video requested. I hit the board. I apologize. This was a video requested by a parent. Their student was learning how to measure things and how to read a ruler. And so we are going to do that today. So I have random things that I found around me in close proximity and taped them to the board. And so we're going to go through a measure. I do have an assistant today, Miss Alasia. Will you please wave your hand in the hello? Yes. If you've watched some of our Read to Me videos, she is up there reading the story. So if you have not seen that, I will link it down below when we are done, but it's on our YouTube channel. So what's going to happen, how this is going to happen, just so that, let's do some interactions with my hand here, just so that you understand what's happening. I'm going to measure the items here, and then I will read to Miss Alasia about where they are, and she will have the ruler up close to show you where it is on the ruler so that you and your student can identify the parts of the ruler. So we're going to get started. So first, this is a ruler. This long, beautiful thing. We have some different colored ones. You'll see, ask Miss Lady, would you mind putting yours in? She has a more traditional ruler. If it's gonna focus. There we go, it's focusing. She has a more traditional one. So these are rulers. These are actually good manipulative to use for primary math skills, and we'll have a video about that later, but it's always good to know how to use a ruler. So on most rulers, there are two sides. There is a side that has inches and a side that has centimeters. Ms. Laser, would you please show them the inches side on yours? So you will see that the inches side, if it focuses, there we go. Just hold it right there. Yes, is bigger and has more spaces than the centimeter side, which on Ms. Alasia's ruler is, she's going to point to it. Once it gets focused here, are you going to focus? There we go. It's along the top, as you can see, and hers has smaller. So that's the centimeter side, and actually right now the inches is at the bottom with the bigger side. So we are going to measure some of these items in inches and some in centimeters. So we have a flashcard, a book, a clip, a glue stick, some blocks, and a pencil. Sometimes on your child's worksheet, they'll have an actual picture. Sometimes it will just be a line, whichever. These are just symbolizing what we are doing. So we're going to start with the inches side first. And actually, let me find my marker because I'll write next to the item what we say it is. So I'm going to measure this card first. Now hopefully you can, I think you can kind of see it, but you see that this card has rounded edges. If the item that your child is being asked to measure has rounded edges, I would just line it up from straight side to straight side. So you see that? I know the book's kind of in the way on this side. I just line it up from straight side to straight side. I'm literally right in the middle of the card, and that just ensures that you get all the parts in there that you need. Now, the next thing you need to know is, and I'm going to try to show you on mine. If it doesn't work, oh, look, it likes it. Great. On every ruler, there's actually a space right here before it starts. You want to make sure that you start measuring actually where the lines start. So, can we see that on mine? Oh, no, let's try yours. Does yours have the space? A small one. Yeah, so you want to make sure you start where the lines actually start, not necessarily at the end of the ruler. Oops, sorry. Let's see. There we go. All right. So yes, there is a small space here. Let's see if I do this, just because I want you guys to see. Can we see that? There we go. You see the space right here? You don't want, that is why you don't want to start measuring at the end of the ruler. You want to start where the lines actually start, because that whole space is probably a couple of millimeters there, you know, and so if your child's teacher is very, very picky, and also just for accuracy's sake, you know, that could throw your child's answer off. So make sure you start where the lines actually start. So I'm going to put it here for the first line and lay it down. And I said inches. So this card is pretty much 3 inches wide. So Miss Alasia, can you point to where 3 inches is on the ruler? Got it? Focus. Maybe come back a little. There you go. So you see the start of it in 3 inches. That is how far how long, how wide the card is. Thank you, Miss Alasia. So now we are going to do top to bottom on the card. And let me write. I'm going to write it on here because it was the short side. So now we're going to do top to bottom. We're going to measure the long side of the card. So we're going to put the first line. We're doing inches. I did that last time. We're going to put the first line at the top of the card and press it down. And this lands right at 4.5 inches long. All right, everybody see that? So 4.5 inches long. The half line is in between 4 and 5. Can you point to the half line one more time for me, Miss Alasia? So you see how it's 4.5 because it's past the 4. Okay, we're not close to 3, we're close to 5. So that's how we know it's 4.5. Thank you, Miss Alasia. Now, once it focuses, there we go. We can see that we have 3 inches here by 4.5 inches here. Now, this is why ruler basics are important, because once you get to higher maths, you'll actually use this to find things like perimeter and area. Full circle moment. All right, let's go to this book. Let's see, we're going to just do up and down on this one. We're back at inches, so we're at the inches side. I'm starting at the first line, not at the beginning of the ruler. At the first line of the ruler, I'm pressing it down so it's flush against it. And it is exactly 5.5 inches. 5.5 inches. So once again, we know it's 5.5 because it's closer to 6, and it is not close to 4. Okay, so it's 5.5 inches. Thank you, Ms. Alasia. This is a square, so all sides are the same length. So not going to worry about it. Now we have this obscure little clip right here. It looks loose because it is, because I just taped it the best I could to my board. So we are going to, let's just do this short side since it's actually on the thing. So again, I'm not starting at the top of the ruler because that's not where the first line is. So I'm lining up the edge of the clip with the first line. And sorry if my head is on the way because I have to see how long this is. We are at 1.5. 1.5. 1.5. So again, we're at a half because we are closer to 2 than we are to 1. So we are at 1.5. It's in between 1 and 2. Well, I guess, yeah, in the middle of 1 and 2. That's how we know we're at 1.5. All right. Half is 5. Sorry. 1.5 inches. We're just going to do the short side on that. So that was the inches side of the ruler. So now we're going to flip it, and we're going to be on the centimeter side. Centimeter side. So same thing. Do not start at the top of your ruler because more often than not, there is a space between the edge of the ruler and the first line. So let's do this pencil. So this pencil is not sharpened. I don't know how well you can see that, but it is not sharpened. But when we measure a pencil, we're going to go from tip of the pencil, tip of the lead, to the tip of the eraser. Okay? So the first line, line it up with the tip of the lead, lay it down. We are at just over 18 centimeters, so it's so close to 18, we're going to call it 18 centimeters. So Miss Alasia, can you show it, please? 15 centimeters. So you see we are on the short side because we're on this centimeter side. Thank you, ma'am. She's such a wonderful Vanna White, isn't she? If you don't know who that is, sorry. All right, so we are going to do the glue stick now. We're still in centimeters. So we're going to do the edge of the glue stick at that first line, and then we're going to go to the very edge. Now, it's a little bit tricky when we get to things that are curved, but we want to try to get to the outermost edge of it as possible. So sorry if my head is in the way because I need to see. But the first line is at the base of the glue stick. The top lands at right about 11 and a half centimeters. Right at about 11 and a half centimeters. Eleven and a half centimeters. Good job. Now, if you did not notice, I am writing the abbreviations for these things. So I will actually take this second while we're on our last few items. Inches is signified by IN or inch. Okay? And I'm only writing in certain spots because these things are taped up here and you can't write on tape. So I apologize. But I'm going to write over here centimeters is cm. Okay? So if you are measuring, if you're doing measurement and you see cm, that means centimeters. If you see in or inch, that means inches. All right? So, Miss Alasia, the red block, do you want to do it in centimeters or inches? Centimeters. Centimeters. She says centimeters. So, we're going to take our ruler. The first line again, not the edge of the ruler. The first line of the ruler, which actually lands, did I show it on centimeters? I don't know if I did. Let's see. I think you can see it. So the edge of the ruler is at the top, but the first centimeter line is actually right here. So we have space. So that's why it's important that you start at the first line. We're doing the red block. So first line to one edge, other edge, it is right at 9 centimeters. Can you show them 9 centimeters? All right, good job. Green block. What should we do, Miss Alasia? Inches? Inches. Which side should we do? Short or long? Long. She said long. All right. So we're going to start at the top and go to the base of the block. First line, not to the edge of the ruler, down to the edge of the block. And it looks like it is a little bit over 2.25. So yeah, we'll say 2.25 inches. So this brings us to a good example. Are we focused? Yes, we are. Okay, 2.25. So we have 2. This is 2.5, and that's 3. These other lines in between, this is 2.25. That's 2.75. So we know that most things are counted in like quarters. So we have like $2, $2.25, $2.50, $2.75, $3. Okay, that's the way you can think about it. So 25, 50, 75, 100. All right. So 2.25 inches. We need the long side, right? Mm-hmm. 5 inches. All right. Now we have the block, the cube, the blue block. What should we do, Miss Alasia? Inches. Inches. All right. We're on the inches side, the big side. We're going to measure from end to end. So we're going to do the line. And then, sorry, the tape is in the way a little bit. Line to line, and it looks like we're about at 1.25. 1.25. 1.25 inches. All right. So, just like we mentioned before, we have 1.25, and since this is a cube, we're going to throw some geometry your way. This is a cube, So every side is 1.25 because every side of a cube is equal because a cube is just another format of a square. Geometry's for another day, but there you go. So that is ruler basics. So remember, centimeters is the small side, inches is the long side. Let's show them again, Miss Alasia, real quick on the ruler. Inches is the long side. So not long side, I'm sorry, the side where the spaces are bigger, there are less numbers, and it only goes up to 12, okay, because the ruler is 12 inches. All right, if you flip it and go to the centimeters are the smaller spaces, and there are 30 of those, so ruler is 30 centimeters. So big spaces, inches, small spaces, centimeters. Thank you, Miss Alasia. And then remember, cm stands for centimeters, in stands for inches. So those are your ruler basics. As you can see, you need to know how to do this because it can go to area, perimeter, geometry, all types of stuff. So those are your ruler basics. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any other questions or need to submit a question that your child has on their homework, please make sure you visit the links that will be either in the caption or in the comments down below in 1 second as soon as this live stream is over. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. You want to wave bye to the camera, to the people, Miss Alasia? Thank you so much. You're so kind. You're so great. Awesome. They didn't see your thumbs up. Good job.
Oh, that was so cute.